Hello and welcome to this comprehensive guide on mastering the 401k. Today, we are exploring the strategic architecture of wealth and how you can use this powerful financial tool to build a secure future. Whether you are just starting your first job or you are well into your career, understanding these mechanics is essential for long-term success. Think of your financial journey as standing at a fork in the road. One path demands a tax toll right now, while the other collects a fee when you finally reach your destination in retirement. Both paths are designed to lead you to financial independence, but the efficiency of that journey depends heavily on the vehicle you choose today. In this video, we will break down the math, the strategies, and the common pitfalls so you can make informed decisions that maximize your net worth. Let us dive into the details of wealth architecture. To understand why a 401k is so valuable, we first need to look at the engine that drives it, which is exponential compound growth. Many people think about money in a linear way, imagining that if they save a little bit today, they will have a little more tomorrow in a straight line. However, money does not grow linearly, it grows exponentially because each year the growth builds on the previous year's total. Looking at this chart, we see a $1,000 investment. After 10 years, it has nearly doubled to approximately $1,970. By year 20, it has almost quadrupled to $3,870. But look at the final decade. Between year 20 and year 30, the value jumps significantly, reaching over $7,600. This 30-year curve is the engine that powers your retirement. The longer you let this engine run, the more powerful the growth becomes because the curve gets steeper over time. Understanding this growth curve is your first step toward financial mastery. If compound growth is the engine of wealth, then taxes are the friction that can erode that wealth over time. In a standard taxable brokerage account, the government takes a cut of your earnings through income tax and your growth through capital gains tax every single year. This is known as tax drag, and even a small annual percentage can have a massive impact over decades. In this specific scenario, with a 7% return and a 22% annual tax drag, the effective return drops to about 5.5%. Over 30 years, a $1,000 investment that could have grown to over $7,600 in a tax-advantaged account only reaches $5,743. That difference represents about 25% of your potential wealth lost to friction. 401ks are specifically designed to eliminate this yearly friction, allowing your money to compound at its full potential without being slowed down by the tax man every year. Let us explore the first major option, which is the traditional 401k, also known as the tax shield. The primary feature of this account is pre-tax entry. When you contribute money, the amount is deducted from your taxable income today, which provides an immediate tax break. This allows you to keep more of your hard-earned money right now. Once that money is inside the account, it experiences tax-deferred growth. It flows through the system, building and compounding without being touched by the IRS for years or even decades. However, there is a toll booth at the end. When you eventually withdraw the money in retirement, it is taxed as ordinary income. The fundamental wager you are making here is that your tax rate in retirement will be lower than it is today. You are betting that by shielding your income now at a high tax bracket, you will come out ahead by paying taxes later at a much lower bracket. The alternative to the traditional model is the Roth 401k, which we call the tax vaccine. Unlike the traditional version, the Roth requires you to pay your taxes upfront. This is a post-tax entry, meaning you pay the toll now using dollars that have already been taxed by the IRS. Because you have already settled your debt, the money enters a state of tax-free growth. It compounds inside the account, and when you finally reach retirement, every single dollar you withdraw is 100% yours. There are no taxes on the way out. The wager here is the opposite of the traditional account. You are betting that your tax rate today is lower than it will be in the future. By locking in today tax rates, you protect yourself against future tax hikes or the possibility of being in a higher tax bracket later in life. It offers certainty and peace of mind, knowing exactly how much spendable income you have in your account. When we look at the traditional and Roth accounts side by side, we see what is known as the Great Divergence. While the timing of the taxes is different, both accounts provide the same essential benefit, which is a sanctuary for compound growth. In the traditional model, you avoid the tax at the beginning but pay it at the end. In the Roth model, you pay the tax at the beginning but avoid it at the end. In the middle, both paths offer identical tax-free compounding, where your dividends and capital gains are not taxed every year. The choice between these two is simply a matter of timing regarding when you pay the IRS. It is a strategic decision based on your current tax bracket versus your expected future tax bracket. Both are excellent tools, and the most important thing is that you are using one of them to protect your money from the annual friction of a standard taxable account. There is a surprising mathematical truth that many investors miss, which is the concept of equivalency. If your tax rate is exactly the same when you contribute as it is when you withdraw, the final results are mathematically identical regardless of which account you use. Let us look at the numbers for a $10,000 pre-tax investment. In a traditional 401k, you invest the full $10,000. If it grows 6 times, you end up with $60,000. After paying a 22% tax on exit, you are left with $46,800. Now look at the Roth. You pay a 22% tax upfront, leaving you with $7,800 to invest. If that grows 6 times, you also end up with exactly $46,800. This proves that the advantage does not come from the account type itself, but from tax arbitrage. You win by choosing the account that allows you to pay taxes when your rate is at its absolute lowest. Let us look at strategy A, which is the high earner play using a traditional 401k. This strategy is ideal for professionals who are currently at the peak of their careers and find themselves in high tax brackets such as 24% or higher. Your primary goal is to reduce your current taxable income to save as much as possible right now. If you forecast that your expenses and income will be lower in retirement, then the traditional 401k is a very smart move. The logic is that you save 32% on the way in by avoiding taxes at your current high bracket, and then you only pay 12% on the way out when you are in a lower bracket during retirement. That 20% spread between the tax saved now and the tax paid later is pure profit. It is a strategic way to use the tax code to keep more of your wealth over the long term. Strategy B is the young professional play, which focuses on the Roth 401k. This is the preferred route for those who are in the early stages of their career or perhaps in a low-income year. If you are currently in a lower tax bracket, like 12%, your goal should be to lock in those low tax rates permanently. By paying a small tax today, you ensure that even if you end up in a high tax bracket, later your retirement savings are already protected from the IRS. This strategy provides a very long runway for growth. You are essentially buying your future taxes while they are on sale today. Letting the massive compound growth accrue completely tax-free over several decades maximizes the benefit of being in a lower bracket now. It is about having the foresight to protect your future self from higher taxes while you have the opportunity to do so at a discount. Regardless of which tax strategy you choose, there is one rule that is absolutely non-negotiable, and that is the free money imperative of the employer match. Most companies offer a match on your contributions as an incentive. For example, they might put in 50 cents for every dollar you contribute up to a certain percentage. This represents an immediate 50% return on your investment before your money even touches the market. No market strategy or professional trader can consistently beat an immediate 50% gain. One important detail to remember is that employer matches almost always go into the traditional pre-tax bucket, regardless of whether your own contribution is traditional or Roth. This creates automatic tax diversification in your portfolio. You might be contributing to a Roth to lock in low rates while your employer builds up a traditional balance for you. The bottom line is simple: you should always contribute at least enough to capture the full match. To manage your wealth effectively, you must understand the architecture of limits. For the year 2026, the basic annual contribution limit for a 401k is $23,500. A common point of confusion is whether you can max out both a traditional and a Roth 401k separately. In reality, the limit applies to the combined total of all your contributions. You can split your money between the two types however you like, but the sum cannot exceed the annual cap. If you are age 50 or older, the government allows for catch-up contributions, which raises your total annual limit to $31,000. These limits are the boundaries of your retirement planning, and maximizing them as early as possible is one of the most effective ways to accelerate your path to wealth. Knowing these numbers allows you to plan your monthly budget and ensures you are taking full advantage of the tax-sheltered space available to you. It is important to understand the fine print regarding vesting and portability of your funds. Vesting refers to how much of the employer matching contributions you actually own at any given time. While your own contributions are always 100% yours from day one, employer contributions must be earned over time. Some companies use cliff vesting, where you own nothing until you have worked there for a set number of years. Others use gradual vesting, where you might earn 20% ownership each year. Additionally, you need to know your options when leaving a job. You can keep the money in the old plan, roll it into a new 401k, or roll it into an IRA. However, you should never cash out your 401k early. Doing so triggers a 10% penalty plus immediate income taxes, which can destroy years of growth and significantly set back your retirement goals. Always look for ways to keep your money invested and protected. The most important lesson in wealth building is the cost of waiting. Let us look at Sarah and Mike. Sarah starts early at age 25 and contributes $5,000 a year for only 10 years and then stops entirely. Her total investment is $50,000. Mike waits until he is 35 to start, but then he contributes $5,000 every single year for 30 years until he is 65. Mike's total investment is $150,000, which is 3 times as much as Sarah. Despite putting in significantly less money, Sarah ends up with $70,000 more than Mike at retirement. This is because Sarah gave her money an extra 10 years to compound at the beginning of her career. The lesson is undeniable that time in the market is much more important than the amount of money in the market. Starting as early as possible is the single greatest advantage you can give yourself. Now that you understand the strategy, it is time for an immediate action plan. Your first step is to enroll in your company plan immediately. Do not let analysis paralysis or fear of making the wrong choice stop you from starting. Step 2 is to capture the match. Ensure you are contributing at least enough to get every cent of free money your employer offers. Step 3 is to choose your architecture. If you are in a low tax bracket, choose Roth. If you are in a high bracket, choose traditional. If you are unsure, you can always split your contribution 50-50. Finally, step 4 is to automate your success. Select a target date fund, which handles the asset allocation for you, and set up automatic contributions from your paycheck. This removes the need for constant monitoring and ensures that your wealth-building machine continues to run in the background while you focus on your career and your life. As we conclude, remember that the perfect is the enemy of the good. The choice between traditional and Roth is an optimization, which is a way to make your plans slightly more efficient. However, the difference between starting at age 25 and starting at age 35 is a life-changing fortune. The machine of compound growth works regardless of which tax fuel you choose, but it requires time to produce its best results. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect strategy to begin. The most important action you can take is to turn the machine on today and let it start working for you. Please share your feedback in the comments. We love hearing your ideas for future videos as well. If you find this useful, please share, like, and subscribe. And smash that notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.